Okay, so our topic for this afternoon is all about interactive systems and work productivity. Course learning outcome of this topic is to explain the fundamental aspects of designing and evaluating interfaces, especially interactive systems. Specific objectives is we should know the fundamental aspects of designing and evaluating interfaces. We should be able to value the fundamental aspects of designing and evaluating interfaces and also explain the fundamental aspects of designing and evaluating interfaces. So, first part of our discussion is all about interactive systems and work productivity. So interactive systems, before I discussing the ins and out of an interactive system. So what do we mean by an interactive system? So normally an interactive system is defined as a system that can interact with the client itself or the user itself. When we say interact, that means that whenever the client use the system, it's actually explanatory on their end. They know where the homepage is. They know where the shutdown button is. They know where to find the information that they need, and they would be able to easily use the system without a manual or an what do you call that, a guidance from the creator itself. So that means by you looking at the GUI of the system, you know how to use it immediately. You don't need to ask any person on how to do it. Same with Facebook. So if when we are using the Facebook, it's easily identifiable where to find the homepage, where to find the groups, where to go if you want to go to the settings. So that is called an interactive system. So normally, until the 1980s, almost all commercial computer systems are non-interactive. So computer operators normally set up the machines to read in a large volume of data, says customer bank details and transaction, for an example. And the computer would then process each input and generate appropriate output. So it actually started in 1980s that interactive system took into place. So it started normally on a commercial computer systems. So at first, commercial computer systems were non-interactive, meaning to say, whenever the client of the bank uses the system, they need to have like a bank operator to tell them on what to do. I'm sure you are familiar with that because there are still bank right now that is using the CMD mode. So whenever the clients will be needing an assistant, um, they need to wait for a bank teller to assist them. But unlike right now, if let's say for example, if you are seeing the system of BPI, they called it BEA. No need for assistance anymore. The client knows where to enter the number. The client knows where to enter the bank account details and then print out the number. So it's actually an interactive system now that they are using compared to the CMD mode that they are using before. So there are still lots of systems in place, but the world is also now full of interactive computer systems. So these systems normally involve users in a direct way. So why they were involved? Because the designer of the systems, especially interactive systems nowadays, perform interview. So based on the interview that they have with the client, it's part of the discussion that we have about the GUI, graphical user interface. They are basing the design of the interface with the client's perspective. So they are putting their shoes on the client side so that they would know if the system will be interactive or not. So in that case, if you follow the result of the interview, when the system will be tested, it will come out as an interactive system because the user or the client knows where to find the icons because it will be based on their interviews. So normally interactive systems, the user and computer exchange information frequently and dynamically. So Norman's evaluation slash execution model is a useful way of understanding the nature of interaction. So what are the composition of Norman's evaluation and model. So number one, the interactive system, the user will have a goal or something to achieve. When we say something of a goal, the user knows what he needs to accomplish. Let's say, for example, the client is using TikTok. So it's one of an example of an interactive system. So what the client's goal there is to provide entertainment. So same with banking softwares. So the goal of the user there is either to transfer money or to look um, on his finances. So those are what we call goals. So another part of Norman's evaluation execution model is that user looks at system and attempts to work out how he would execute a series of tasks to achieve the goal. So we've discussed this on the graphical user interface that it should be progressive. When we say progressive, from the start unto the finish, the client or the user knows where to find the tools, where to look for the icons, what shortcut keys are needed to achieve a certain goal that he wants. Let's say, for example, fund transfer or enroll a student if they are using an enrollment system. So the third one is user carries out some actions. So providing input to the system by pressing buttons, touching a screen, speaking words, etc. So when we say interactive system, it's not all the time that the client needs to perform an action. So sometimes he just need to operate it by voice command. So that depends on the result of your interview with the client and what the client wants on the final product of the system. So the fourth one and the last one under the model of Norman is system responds to the action and presents the result to the user. So system can use text, graphics, sound, speech, etc. So if you put an icon there that signifies a home button, when you when the client clicks on that, it should go to the home button. So that's only the explanation of this fourth one. So if you put there like an X icon, so it's either it will cancel a text or it will cancel the action that the user performed before. So that's just an additional example for you to be able to understand it clearly. So I'm sorry, it's not the last one, but we have a fifth one. So the fifth one is user looks at the result of his action and attempts to evaluate whether or not the goals have been achieved. So after performing a series of tasks using the buttons on the design, now, the user will have the ability to evaluate if the goal has been achieved. So, if the bank transfer is the goal, so the client will assess whether he was successful in transferring the funds. Or if it's an enrollment system, the user would be able to identify if the enrollment has been processed properly. So, normally, a good interactive system is one where, um, number one, user can easily work out how to operate the system in an attempt to achieve his goals. Then number two, user can easily evaluate the result of his action on the system. So the first one, user can easily work out on how to operate the system in an attempt to achieve his goals. This is the one that I'm explaining earlier, that it should be progressive and self-explanatory with the user without minimal assistance from the creator of the software itself. And then the second one, user can easily evaluate the result of his action on the system. So this is also the one that I've explained earlier on the PIF one. So the client needs to assess whether the goal that he has in using the system has been achieved, regardless if it's bank transfer, enrollment system, and any other systems that is being used by different clients. So what interactive systems do you use in your day-to-day life. So what are the examples of the interactive systems that you use normally? So your first response might be to identify the personal computer and all of its application. However, the term interactive system can be applied to a much broader range of devices. So it's not only with a PC. Um, if you remember my example earlier, it's TikTok. So it's a mobile application. So we can also use it from mobile telephones, cash dispensing machines, the World Wide Web or the www dot, so it's web based, car navigation systems, video recorders, machine driven call centers. Examples for that are telephone banking, and then workflow system to coordinate a team work effort. So these are all some examples of an interactive system, not just for personal computer. So what are the future of an interactive system? So for you to be able to have an overview of what might be a possible thesis for you in the future, I've listed here some example that might be helpful in your idea by the time that you will be thinking of a topic on your thesis. So number one of my example is the home medical advisors. So sensors in the home will enable blood pressure, temperature, weight, body fluids, and so on to be automatically monitored. A computer could use these readings to assist with medical advice or to contact the human doctor. So this is one of my study. I'm not sure if you were able to see it. Um, let me show you later. I'll show it to you later. The study that I'm doing. It's a home medical advisor. So it automatically detects the blood pressure, temperature, weight, body fluids of um, senior citizens, and it will suggest whether what kind of medicine is needed, and it will be dispensed. So that's one of my system. So please don't use it because it's already on the copyright stage and it's ongoing publication. So don't propose it yet since it's still under the process. So digital picture frames, this normally gives frame to a friend or relative. So when you have taken a new picture, you want them to share, simply email the picture directly using the frame. So the frame will be connected to the net wirelessly. So it works like a cell phone, but it only the device can only be used for pictures. So it's a picture frame. It's up to you whether you want the picture to be steady or you want it to like one picture after a minute it will show another picture. It's up to you. So once you saw the picture, you can have a button there for an email and then it will email the picture immediately to a friend or your family relative so that they would see. So one another function of this digital picture frame is it will take a picture real time and then you can send the picture to the police station, the email address of the police if there is a theft on your house. So another example is weather and traffic display. So at the moment, when we want the time, we simply look at a clock. So soon perhaps we want to know the weather or the traffic conditions, we will look at a similar device. So um, what you can do here if you are going to do this kind of system is that the design should be a wall clock. And then on the wall clock, you can put a button there if if you want to see, for example, traffic in Manila. So you can click a button there, like an arrow button. It will show you the real-time traffic situation uh, per city. So it depends on the design that you will be thinking of. Since this is just one of my example. Embedded systems within our clothes, consider the value of eyeglass appliances. So many of us already wear eyeglasses. So why not um, a power on the eyeglasses and add a small electronic display to the glass, and we could have all sorts of valuable information with us at all times. So this one, I think no one has created this yet. So this is one of the hardest here on the list. So if one of you can do it, why not? I would be proud of you if someone from you, from your team would be able to actually do this one, since even me, to be honest, I really don't have the ability to do this. So if one of you can do it, why not do it? And I will be more than willing to support you and be proud of your achievements. So many people believe we will soon enter an age of ambiguous computing. So we will be used to interacting with computer systems as we are with other people. That's actually the goal of an interactive system. When we converse into a system, it seems like we are conversing with people. That's why artificial intelligence and machine learning has been created due to that, even augmented reality. So this dream will only be fulfilled if the businesses that produces these systems and services clearly understand the needs of the user so that the systems can be useful and usable. So let's now move on to work productivity. So what do we mean by work productivity? Work productivity is the efficiency in which tasks and goals are completed for the company. So by creating a productive workplace, benefits such as profitability and employee morale will be more discernible. Having a productive workforce is an aspect of the business world that many companies struggle. So since we are discussing about interactive systems for personal use, why not use this also at work? So work productivity is actually what do you call this, a byproduct of interactive systems. So by using interactive systems in a company, we are producing work productivity because we can actually do more work by using systems. But there is a glitch there. If ever that we are using interactive systems in a company, the company will be actually hiring lesser people. So it will be lesser people for other people. For example, you are developing a security system. So instead of them hiring security guards, they will be using your security system. So those security guard will not be hired anymore, and it's actually a struggle for them. But it's our career, so um, if we think rationally, we actually need to pick our career, but we also need to have our own moral because we are also people and we actually care about them. So if they actually lose their job, it will be actually emotionally driving in for them. So if we have ways to help those people that will actually lose their job when we created our own system, let's just help them. Okay, so let's move on how human computer interaction increases worker productivity. So the constant evolution in human computer interaction is assisting workers with their daily operations to increase their productivity. So meaning to say, if you are an encoder, you are spending 8 hours a day encoding it manually. If we actually can create a system that can lessen that time into 4 hours, that's actually a success. So if we can do a design like that, why not we do it? So humans have long been developing tools and technologies that can assist them in their daily task. So ever since, even when we are not born yet, it's already the goal, and actually it's improving and improving by the years. So you are actually luckier than me because you are in another era than mine. When I was a student, there's only a limited technology that we can use to create a system, but now you have plenty. You just need to watch video tutorials, listen to discussions like this. um, so you are very lucky compared to our generation. So Computers are one such tool that have changed the way humans work. So human-computer interaction focuses majorly on the study of interfaces that allows interaction between people and computers. That's why we are discussing about interactive system, because that's actually the main goal of human-computer interaction. So the field of HCI is situated at the intersection of computer science and behavioral science. So we've discussed this on our behavioral science topic about abnormal psychology and many others. So HCI has evolved over time from desktop to mobile screens and handheld computers. So now, um, recent researches normally focus on implementation with voice user interface and speech recognition. So this is mostly focusing on natural language processing or NLP. So let's say, for example, when you are at home and you are using an interactive system to control your electricity, you can actually use a voice command to actually give your command to that system. Like you can put a name on your system. Let's say, for example, Lucky. So Lucky, turn off the lights. Lucky, turn on the electric fan. So those are our goals for that. So this evolution over time has assisted humans in their daily operations by reducing the burden and increasing productivity. For example, if you're familiar with chatbots, so chatbots are now being used as actually a replacement to manual replying of chat. So in Messenger, if you have a business for your Facebook page, when somebody message your business, it will have an auto reply option. So that's what we call chatbots. And that's actually using an AI system. So the most common study nowadays, if you want to for your title to be accepted, you may select between AI, augmented reality, virtual reality, machine learning, and virtual reality and mixed reality. So what are the technologies that will actually increase productivity through human computer interaction? So we actually have five. So eye tracking, speech recognition, IoT, cloud computing, and AR, VR. So these are the avenues that you may enter if you actually um, are doing topics on your thesis. So these are the avenue. This is not saturated yet, and there are plenty of studies that can be done on this one. So one example for AR is my study that I shown you on our second day. So advancement in technologies has paved way for several tools and devices like all of this. So they have facilitated human computer interaction to be more successful than usual. So let's discuss first eye tracking. So what do we mean by eye tracking? Normally, eye tracking is the process of interpreting where a person is looking, also known as the point of gaze. So eye attach tracking, optical tracking, and electric potential measurement are three techniques to track eye movement. So the first technique uses an attachment with an embedded mirror or magnetic field sensor to track the eye. Optical tracking is done with the help of infrared rays and their reflections detected with the help of infrared cameras. The electric potential measurement use electrodes to determine eye movement. So what is the advantage of using the eye tracking device? It's mostly being used for security systems. So instead of you using your fingerprint or a password, it will actually be harder to replicate your eyes unless they actually kill you and get your eyes and then put your eye on the system. So what are the things where we can use this eye tracking devices? We can actually use this at home door locks. Also, we can use it for money storage cabinet so that no one will get your money. So what is the usage of this eye tracking? What will happen is that your system will be asking you to put your eyes on the sensor. Once you put your eyes on the sensor, it will detect if it's you or not. If it's you, it will open the lock. If it's not you, it will have an error, or sometimes it will have an alarm, so that if it's a theft, at least the user can easily call the police and report the theft. So it's a very um good avenue to enter if you are doing some research, because this is not saturated yet. So you may actually want to consider this when you're doing your own system. So normally administrators can help workers focus on their daily operations with the help of eye tracking. So let's say, for example, eye tracking devices can determine industrial processes or situations that divert workers' attentions. So if your workers are not focusing on their work, at least we can use an eye tracking device for them to be able to focus on their daily work. So business can then make plans or strategies that can help tackle distractions and enhance workers' focus on a task. So another help that an eye tracking system can do is to train your employees. So what it can do, it can actually record the visual attention of an expert while he or she is performing a certain task. And this recording can help train new employees about what to look and where to look while performing a certain task. So it will actually record how the trainer do a physical thing. So the movement of the eye will be recorded. So the system can replicate it so that trainees can actually adapt and do the same thing that is being done by the trainer itself. So, eye tracking technology and human interaction with its devices helps new employees to learn everything from an expert's perspective without missing any single detail, because it's detail by detail that it will be recorded by the eye tracking device. So, in the future, this kind of system will be able to eliminate the need to scroll down the computer screens manually, which will further increase worker productivity. So, no one has done that yet, but we can never can tell. Maybe in the future someone would be able to do that. So maybe it's someone from you. So for instance, front desk receptionists can simply scroll computer screens with their eyes and focus more on assisting customers with other tasks and queries. So we will now move on to speech recognition technology. So it normally can interpret human language. So it is already in use to actually increase productivity for chatbots and virtual assistants. So chatbots can understand customer queries and provide an appropriate response, because chatbots are AI and sometimes they are also machine learning. So when we say machine learning, they are recording the errors that they are getting, and then the best response will be recorded, and then once that happens again, it will not have an error message anymore, but what will the chatbot supplies is the best answer that it recorded during the time that it caused an error. That's what we call machine learning. So recording experiences so that they can choose the best one, and then the best one will be taken out from the database and will be used by the chatbot to answer the customer queries. So normally, chatbots are just one of the many applications of speech recognition that can increase workers' productivity. So another speech recognition example that I can give based on my experience is the a system that actually records a complaint in a barangay hall. So from verbal explanation of the citizen, the system will automatically convert it into a real-time report. So what is the catch there? So the barangay employees doesn't need to type it anymore. They just need to listen to their concern. They can focus more on the concern of the person, and then they can just print the report after the citizen is already talking. So you can actually use that on your thesis. That's just one of my idea. I'm not sure if it's being used already, but you can use that in your thesis. So simply putting it, can actually assist all the typing task, be it professional or personal. So according to a report, an average person normally types 40 words per minute, and a professional typist can type around 60 to 80 words per minute. So another report shows that an average person speaks between 120 to 150 words per minute. So comparison between both the reports shows that the speaking rate is almost twice the typing rate. Thus, it can double the productivity of typing task since it's actually converting it automatically to a written report wherein you can print it immediately. So it can also increase the productivity of a non-typing task. For example, it can help take down even minute details of all transcribing meetings, training sessions, interviews, and presentations. Also, accountants can update accounts in a computer device by simply reading them without the need to type anything. So the third one of the interactive system that is being used nowadays is called IoT. So IoT is an abbreviation for Internet of Things. So normally IoT applications are penetrating their way into our daily lives in almost all the industries. So IoT devices collect data that can provide valuable insights to businesses and help them to make significant decisions for increasing their revenues. But IoT devices are not all about just collecting data. Human interaction with these devices can also help increase workers' productivity. So in this case, normally time management is important and can have a significant impact on employees' performance. It can help an employee provide better quality work, make better decisions, eliminate procrastination, and reduces stress and anxiety. So IoT devices can help employees to manage their time efficiently. For instance, wearables examples are smartwatches, so can have applications. Smart watches can have applications such as scheduling of tasks, taking notes, and reminders that can help employees remember minute details, manage their time, and increase their productivity. So another kind of an IoT device is the vacuum cleaner. So you can actually um, get the vacuum cleaner, go around your house, check if there are part of your house that needs improvement. It will send it to the database and it can be sent to your mobile phones. Another thing is that you can put a camera on an IoT device so that you can actually monitor what happens at your house any time of the day. It can also be used at any company as well. So the fourth one that we have, it's somewhat related to IoT since IoT is using big data. So we need actually cloud storage. So we are now in the age of using cloud computing. So before it's just a storage, but now it's already a career. You can have a career for being a cloud architecture, cloud engineer. So it also requires programming skills and database skills if you are gonna go to a cloud computing route. So imagine a workplace of 20 years from now, it will be completely different from today. We all know that because when I was in my 18 years old or 19 years of age, the plays are really different. The devices are really different. So I'm sure 20 years from now, you are also a working individual like me. Maybe you're already training people same as what I'm doing with all of you guys so that you could actually create your own system. Um, Businesses are gonna take a paradigm shift towards becoming a remote workplace. So normally it's called a smart workplace. When we say a smart workplace, it's actually using all the kinds of technology to operate. So employees themselves prefer working remotely. When we say remotely, you are working at home, not in the company anymore. So for instance, according to a survey, 83% of workers do not believe they have to be in an office to be productive. And the same study shows that 43% of workers feel they would be more productive working from home. But some actually thinks differently, especially those who are working on the higher management. So as a result, employees want flexibility in their way of working. Normally, it will be achieved with innovation by using technologies. And this remote workforce becomes possible because of cloud computing and human interaction with mobile devices to access cloud-based business applications. Like for me, I've been with different companies nowadays that when we are at home, they could just give us the link to access a webinar and files so that we can actually work at home. So normally, cloud-based SaaS or software as a service applications can enable seamless collaboration and streamline workflow to increase workers' productivity. So any employee who has been granted permission can access the data on the cloud from anywhere in the world and establish real-time communication with fellow employees. But you need to make sure that you understand Data Privacy Act because they can actually sue you if you don't do that. So normally, these collaborative technologies can allow communication between remote teams and help to increase productivity. Hence, it can be said that the future workforce will shift from location-centric work oriented because of SaaS and human-computer interaction. So next meeting, we will be discussing all about collaborative tools so that you can actually create your own collaborative tools. So normally, collaborative tools being used nowadays is what we are using right now. So MS Teams, Google Meet, Zoom, Facebook Messenger is also used as a collaborative tool. So hence, it can be said that the future workforce will shift from location-centric to work-oriented because of SaaS and human-computer interaction. So we can never can tell maybe one of you can be the one to do that. So the last one that we will be discussing is all about AR and VR. This is one of my favorite because my thesis is all about augmented reality. So immersive technologies like augmented reality and virtual reality normally connect humans to the digital world and assist them while performing daily operations to increase productivity. Before, this is just a dream, but right now it's already a reality. 20 years ago, 2000, the movie Matrix came up. So the movie Matrix is actually an inspiration about mixed reality. So during that time, it's just a dream, but after 20 years, no one no one can actually predict that it can be an available technology. So you can never can tell that sometimes your idea will be one of the booming technologies in the future. So don't be shy and open up yourself to the world. So if you have an idea, that's why we are doing all sorts of the activities that we had since day one. I'm sure some of you don't actually appreciate or they are thinking why are we doing that? But it's actually a training for you to be able to create your own system because if you will be able to create your own technology just like the one who created AR and VR, you will not just be able to help your families because there will be royalties available and that royalties will be until you die because you will have copyright and um, patents if it actually includes hardware. So that's why, as you can see, I have so many studies and I have so many um, copyrights because this is just my passion. No one forced me to do that. it just came out naturally. So before, I'm just like you. I don't really want to exert effort on something. I don't want to do research, but due to immersive interest with AR and VR and different kinds of technologies, I became a researcher and has published several papers now. And I'm looking forward to be seeing one or more of you to be like that in the future, because it will not just help you but also the Philippines itself and also the world in other countries. So smart glasses allow workers to interact with computers in a fascinating hands-free way, and when combined with other technologies like cloud-based services and mobile applications, these smart glasses can provide critical informations to workers while they are performing their daily task. So I will be showing you some examples of this one. So I will be representing my screen again after showing you. Okay, I'll be showing you one of or some. Okay. Okay, so this is one example. So this used to be one of my advisee before. So I came up with the system itself, and they are a graduating student now. Okay, where is it? Okay. So the title of the study is MCU based e-health system for senior citizens of the LG Life Career Nursing Home. So this is an IoT device. As you can see, I am the thesis advisor. So it's under STI College, and this is actually last year. So this is the block diagram. So as you can see, it normally detects the temperature, blood pressure, and heart rate automatically, and it actually suggests what kind of medicine that certain person needs. So it will actually turn on the light on the cabinet. So this is the example. So as you can see, these are the medicine cabinets. So if actually detected a fever and the medicine here is for a fever, it will turn on the light. So this is cloud computing. So sensors sends data to the dispenser, then it will be sent via the internet to the server and will be sent to the mobile phone. So I'll who designed this mobile computing, because my advisees doesn't know how to create these diagrams before yet. So this is a secret. Don't tell them, because I'm not teaching them anymore, since I was I indebted so much to my thesis, so I have to finalize my own thesis as well. Okay, so another thing that I will show you is an example of augmented reality. So this is under publication now. Um, I got so this is the study. So this is the normal setup of the classroom. If you point out you would see creatures like this asking questions about calculus and also video tutorials. So this is now on the process of being publicized. I already received the feedback for the review and I'm just waiting for the date of the publication itself. So another publications that I have is similar process like that, but it's all about earth science. So this is also under publication now. As you can see, this is the format of the publication where I submitted my paper. So, so this is the result. So I'm just waiting for it to be publicized as well. So another IoT example is the motorcycle system. I think I've shown this to you before. This one has been publicized already. This has been accepted by publication now, and you can actually see it in Google Scholar. It's now on Google Scholar. So this is it. It's an okay. So that actually our discussion.